Hi, I'm Andy Parr, and you're watching the Gadget Guru. In a moment, you're going to meet this guy right over here, and he knows quite a bit about Prevost coaches. So stay tuned. That starts right now on the Gadget Guru. Okay, as you can see by looking around, I'm in a motor coach, not just any motor coach, one that has promised to have been impeccably maintained by this guy right over here. This is Jeff Rowe. Jeff is the owner of East Tennessee Luxury Coach. And tell me if I'm saying this right, in Vonore, Tennessee, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now I'm from Nashville, and I've never even been to Vonore. And I have to tell you, this is one gorgeous part of the state. We're in East Tennessee, I guess about half an hour outside of Knoxville or so. And the reason I'm here, and as you know, I've been shopping for my first motorhome or motor coach. And while I've been looking at various different brands, I contacted John, who's the moderator over at Prevost Community. I said, you know, is there one pre-owned Prevost that you would consider just as in excellent condition that might make for a good coach for me? And he said, absolutely. And that's this one right here. And he said, what makes this one special? Well, Jeff is in East Tennessee. Really, they aren't dealers. They are one of the premier service facilities. This is one that he's taken in, that he purchased, put under his wing, and has really brought this thing up to, you know, like new condition. It's a condition of a word I'm learning that's being called zeroed out, meaning that all maintenances are up to speed, all wear items have been replaced. And right now, we're taking our first ride in. Now, Jeff, did I explain that properly?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, how long have you been in business? I know that you were with Liberty in the past.
I've been here open for about 3 years. I wasn't with Liberty very long. Actually hired. I went down when they opened. They left Buddy Gregg's and opened the Stewart facility. I went down there when they opened that.
Now, I'm not familiar with Buddy Gregg. I've heard the name. What was that, a dealer?
Buddy Gregg used to be the dealer back in the 90s, especially. Then if you bought a diesel pusher, you know, you had been through Buddy's. Buddy was the only dealer for all the Liberty coaches, country coaches, and Royal Coach Prevost built. So if you bought any of those three conversions, then you bought it from Buddy.
I noticed you have a number of coaches here. It didn't take people too long to find you.
No, the word travels fast in a small community of bus owners.
Okay, if somebody is, you know, has a Prevost, because I assume you would service all of them, whether it's Marathon or Liberty, you know, all Prevost coaches. Is there something that you specialize in?
No, we do everything top to bottom, so we do everything the converters do and pretty much everything Prevost does for the coaches.
Now, my understanding is from talking to you that, you know, once you get a coach that's zeroed out, or all services are brought up to date, unless you just put an inordinate amount of miles on it, that once a year, this should come back to you or an authorized service center.
Correct.
And what's entailed on that annual service?
Looking over brakes, wheel seals, moisture in the air system on the chassis, then air filters on the engine side, the air conditioning side, the converter side, all your water filters, just regular maintenance on the engine, generator, Webasto or Aquahot system, and then anything on the inside if there's issues with something not functioning right or not cooling well.
As you looked at this specific coach, what did you find?
This coach is pretty clean, and we've had the owners around for a while, and they've done a lot of upgrades and maintained the coach, so it just had pretty much standard things like house batteries changed out, engine service, that type of thing.
Now, you were telling me if I bought this coach again, as I stated before, you know, other than just, if I put an inordinate amount of miles on it, if I put 5,000 or 6,000 miles on it in a period of a year, then it really, there's not a lot of service, or there's not a lot that takes to keep this thing up and running.
not service-wise. You've still got, you know, normal maintenance or upgrades or things that just happen to break, whether it's a newer coach or an older coach, then things fail at certain times. So.
Well, this is my first time riding in this coach, and you know, possibly later I'll have an opportunity to drive it. That's a conversation we're having right now. From this point of view, I can tell you, in the microphone that I'm using on this camera right over here is extremely sensitive. I'm not hearing a squeak. I'm not hearing a rattle. Now, granted, there's no dishes or anything on board. This thing really seems as tight as can be. Is that due to a lot of the maintenance that you've done on this?
That's what Liberty strives for when they build a coach, is being one of the quietest on the market.
And we're on some pretty rough road right now. Let me
Correct.
point that out.
Right, and most of what we're hearing right now is chassis.
But we're in one of those parts, you know, of a 2-lane road that is all cut up on one side, and he just kind of shifted the lane over. And considering that, it's pretty good. Now, you have to remember, this is a 10-year-old coach, but sitting here, it does give that feeling that you're kind of riding on air on this.
Once again, you know, like you say, this has got some rumbles. Mm-hmm. We're at 65, 68 miles an hour right now, and these are smooth as glass.
Now, those rumbles, is like the independent, and remember, you're talking to a rookie. The independent rear suspension, or front suspension, isn't that supposed to take care of a lot of those rumbles to keep that?
It depends on, it all plays in to how much they are, and that was just a constant rumble there, you know, in the road. You switch lanes or move over a little bit. The 365 tires are wider, and they pick up a little bit more of that noise sometimes. But it gets into tire inflation as well.
You would put new tires on here.
Correct.
Would that change that?
Possibly, yes.
Okay. And again, I don't know anything about shocks. We talked about them earlier. Is that a function of the shocks as well?
Not really, because that's not got any real depth to that bounce that we was feeling. So the shocks,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's not much motion there. It's just a little lines in the road, basically.
Now this has the Detroit diesel engine in this one. Is that correct?
Correct. Detroit Series 60.
Okay, now, although they don't make that one anymore, this is a pre-DEF motor. How is that thing for the long term?
It's held up well, like all the Series 60 engines. They're all doing really well.
Now, we were talking about, you know, that this coach was originally, the converter was Liberty. We used to work for Liberty. There's been a lot of conversations online about different air conditioning systems. Now, this one has both the over-the-road air and the cruise air. For traveling around and you know, and chasing good weather, is that pretty much the best combination of what to get today?
Yes, yeah. The cruise air, when you're stationary, so you've got to be on generated power or shore power, is the quietest because it's split system. And the bus air, you know, is nothing better when you're going down the road. So
now, just to make sure I get this, because when we did the walk around here, and I'm learning something every day, because you know, if you compare this to a standard Class A motorhome, everything is different. First of all, the generator is not located at the nose of the coach. The generator is about mid-level, and it's in what do you call it, a hush box?
correct.
And that keeps it quiet. And then the generater powers the cruisers. I know I get confused by all that. So if you're parked and if you're camped, if you're in a shore power, you really won't need your generator. But if you're on the road and it's just extraordinarily hot, where your cruiser, which is powered by your diesel engine, if that's not
Bus air.
Oh, your bus air. Thank you. I'm confused by this. If that's not giving you enough power, then you can kick on the generator and run both systems at the same time. Is that correct?
That's correct. But the bus air should be ample to cool the coach driving down the road in any temperature.
Okay, and so that I don't make that overly confusing, the bus air is powered by the diesel engine itself.
By the engine going
So
down the road.
it's similar to a car system, an automotive system.
Correct.
The engine is powering the ACs, and instead of one compressor, you have four of them, two of them located in two different conditions.
That's for the Cruisers, 4 different ones.
Now, what do you see the difference between today's Liberty coaches and this one that's 10 years old? I mean, if granted, there's $1 million of price difference in between the two. But as you look at the coach from things that people like me don't see, what do you see has changed over 10 years?
No, I don't think the construction or anything like that has changed much. This has the lightweight material that they're using. Electronics has changed significantly from when this was built originally to what they're using now. So electronics is one of the big things that has changed over the years.
In their new coaches, I know this one has the transmission retarded. Are they still doing that on their newer coaches?
I believe so. On all their coaches, they're still using the trans retarder.
Okay. And you said that you prefer this over engine braking?
Correct, over the J.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is just kind of an overview. It's a first ride. I have to tell you, you look at this coach, and considering this is priced in the same price range of a high-end Class A motorhome, anybody who's shopping for a Class A motorhome really should look at a pre-owned Prevost, because it's a different coach. I mean, it's a motor coach versus a motor home, and you have service locations all over the country. Anyway, any words of wisdom to anybody who might be considering a pre-owned Prevost?
They need to look at them and know what they're getting, and with anything, see what kind of service history it has and what documents they have to show the service or upgrades, and be familiar with some of the different converters.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, or if they're a current Prevost owner, going to be in the East Tennessee area, want to contact you for service, what's the best way to contact you?
Website is www.easttennesseeluxurycoach.com, and the phone number is area code 423-884-6008.
Okay, and one last question. If you're up here, what's the best restaurant in town to get some good veneer home cooking?
Depends on what you're in for. Smoking Bones is pretty good up here. That has a lot on their menu, but they do a lot of pulled pork and that type of brisket.
I heard that's a really good barbecue restaurant.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try that tonight, and I'll put my notes below. Again, Chip, thank you for your time, your hospitality. We'll have more information on this coach. To keep up with my new posts, the easiest thing to do is just to like us at facebook.com/The Gadget Guru. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. That's it for now. I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Park.